Hi everyone and welcome back to the Paperless Movement YouTube channel. I'm Tom Solid and today we will talk about note-taking on the iPad using your Apple Pencil. This video is really about handwriting note-taking apps only. Of course we have Notion, we have Roam Research, Evernote and so on, but those tools are not for handwritten note-taking. Not yet. Evernote has some functionality where you can write some stuff in there, but it is not as good as if you have a native note-taking app. I'm sure you want to find out what those are and how good they perform and pros and cons, and we will cover all that. Let's roll it. So I think it is important to understand here the 5 note-taking apps I will talk about today. It is Notability, GoodNotes, Noteshelf, MyScript Nebo and OneNote. Last year I was also talking about Notes Plus and Zoom Notes. For Notes Plus, you saw my previous video that we need to be careful if using something like this. The stability of Notes Plus on the latest release of the iPad OS is just not there anymore. It is too dated. So this is the reason why Notes Plus is not included in this list. And Zoom Notes, as much as I love Zoom Notes for all the features, you can do essentially everything in Zoom Notes. However, the UI and UX is just not there that it feels like a note-taking app that I want to add to this list here. We will do an extra video about Zoom Notes on this channel, so if you want to learn more about this, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Now we can already make categories because there is digital note-taking on the iPad using a digital planner. So what does this mean? Let's switch to the iPad, Notability for example, and this is a digital planner. Okay, so I can, you see my Apple Pencil on the bottom right, I can simply tap here and I jump to the month 11th. I can tap on the 16th November and it jumps there. I then can just simply start writing, okay? And the yearly overview, I can choose any day, tap on there and I jump to this. So this is a digital planner or digital journal or whatever you want to call it. There are hundreds and thousands of them on Etsy and on other websites where you can get them. If you follow this channel, you know that I offer my own digital planner, which is actually customizable. So you go to the website, you can pick the start and end date of your digital planner, you can pick the styling, you can pick landscape, portrait version, dark mode, and this helps you to make it very individual and it will be created for you with a click of a button. So why do I mention this? It is a very popular thing to do, to import these digital planners into note-taking apps and using them along with your Apple Pencil, like you would have had a paper planner, but with the advantage of skipping through the different pages and making your notes searchable. And I mentioned this in the beginning because so far from the 5 note-taking apps we're looking at, only Notability, GoodNotes and Noteshelf support this digital planner. Nebo just recently added PDF support as well. Unfortunately, functionality of the buttons is not there in Nebo yet. And OneNote is also not supporting digital planners. However, they have different advantages. That's the reason why they're in the list. But now let's start with Notability. Okay, now we are in Notability. I showed you already the digital planner. So we go back and create just a simple empty note. And you see I can draw. So we can open up here the pen and we have 2 different pen styles. So this is, for example, pressure sensitive. So I can use my Apple Pencil light pressure and you see we have a different way. So you have an eraser so you can partially erase things. You can switch to whole and you will delete whole strikes as well. Okay, on the top right we can change the paper style. So the difference from Notability to GoodNotes and Noteshelf and others is that we don't have templates. We can actually import pages with a template background, but usually that's not the thing you do in Notability. In Notability you have these pre-made pages and we have different sizes of the grid. I think that's very convenient. You can switch between the different sizes and styles. We can also choose different colors. This is really a great solution here. So this really looks like paper, and if you actually want it to feel like paper, that you get a matte screen protector that will give you a paper-like feeling on the screen. I use paper-like on my iPad. I'm using it since it was released the first time, the first version. Now they already have a second version which improves visibility and feeling of resistance. If you're an Inner Circle member, then you get 20% off paper-like. So make sure that you go to your discount section when you signed up to my membership. I think this is an accessory that we really need to have on our iPads. And in combination with this paper looking background, this is really a great thing to do. So in my opinion, the writing in Notability is still the best. There's no latency whatsoever. Maybe you don't like my handwriting. I like it most in Notability. There's no delay, there's nothing, and I really like how this translates. We have a highlighter, so Notability had the issue when you highlight something that it was in front of the text. Now it stays behind the text. That's really nice. So there's a downside with the eraser. So in other apps like GoodNotes and Noteshelf, you can actually choose the eraser to only delete your highlighter. This is not possible in Notability yet, so I have to go to the selection tool, select the side here, I can take this out and delete it. It's as easy as that. So this works as well. But the big advantage over GoodNotes and Noteshelf using Notability, that I can just make a stroke, press and hold it. See? It not only straightens the line, but it also sticks to the grid in the background. And I think that's huge. It also connects the corners, so I really can draw on the grid. This is, so far as I know, not possible in any other note-taking app. And this is also the reason why we have to use this special background things. When you're using a digital journal, for example, where you have imported PDF or a template or anything and you have a grid there, it doesn't work there. So it needs to be the proper background you have in Notability. I could also select this, drag it around, make it smaller, rotation and so on. So the thing that's missing now is that I want to fill the background of this shape. So once they add this, I'm really happy. Yeah, so this would be really great to have. Now we come to another advantage that only Notability offers over the other note-taking apps, which is the possibility that we can add sticky notes. So all we need to do is to go to the plus button and we have stickies here, and then we can even choose a different style for the sticky note. So for example, we take gridded, and now we have a gridded sticky note. We can write something and then we can just simply tap it with the finger. So it recognizes actually the difference between the Apple Pencil and your finger. So this is, I think, really important as well. And now I can even drag around this sticky. And again, we have some stickies in Noteshelf as well. And the issue there is that the handwriting won't stick to your sticky. Here we can still change the paper if we like on the fly. Make this white and we have dark mode sticky. Okay, another thing that we can do is we can add GIFs. Isn't that awesome? And you have daily notes. I think that's the perfect thing to do, to add a mood to the day. Like this. And now you have an animated GIF animation. See, it stays there and it is on your digital note. And I think this is really awesome and gives a completely different feel. You know, in Harry Potter, the newsletters, everything was moving there as well. Also like GIF animations. Now we have this in our digital journal as well. And I think that's really awesome. So what we also have is that we have the recording here. So we can actually start to record something, for example, a lesson or something like this, stop it. And then we have on top here the recording. As soon as we play this back, actually the recording synchronizes to the positions where you've written the stuff. Is it useful? I don't need it. I don't need it, but maybe when you're sitting in meetings, things like this, so you can relate what was said to your note-taking, might be useful as well. In Noteshelf, for example, we could just drag and drop the audio file to the position of the notes we had it. So this is also a solution, and GoodNotes has no audio recording at all. So one thing that is missing in Notability that only Noteshelf has so far is the option to add tags. So here I can actually add page tags and bookmarks. And this is really helpful because this makes it easier to find stuff later on. So when we are on this page and we add a tag here and we just tap on this tag, this page is tagged now. So when we go on the side, we now have the tagged pages here, see? And we can also select what tag we want to show up, and we can then quickly navigate through the different pages. I mean, that's more than 400 pages, this digital journal, in order to find the stuff again. This is really a great thing. Also, how it integrates the digital journal also works really great in Noteshelf. And the other advantage we have in Noteshelf, the free covers and paper templates. And here you have loads of things that you can actually use. And here you see even my digital planner is available on Noteshelf, so you can simply go there and download the demo version of the digital planner. If you want to check it out for free, you just simply click download, it will download it, and you can check it out if it works for you and if this is something you want to use in your note-taking app. It's not only working with the Noteshelf, it works with others. You also see other planners that you can download here if you want to test others. And we also have other packs and cover packs. It's a lot more individualization, and I really like the idea of the Noteshelf Club compared to Notability. It feels just much more connected to a kind of community of people, of the Noteshelfers. This is why Noteshelf is still one of the go-to tools for me when it comes to note-taking. It's really personal preferences. I just was showing you Notability for the reasons with all the new features they added. So for example, in Noteshelf, we don't have this press and hold, and then you have straight lines. This is not there, so we have to switch to the shape tool. But this is, no issue. We can still do so many things as well as we do in Noteshelf. So for example, here we have a much better control over the rotation. I really like the UI UX in Noteshelf. It is so much more straightforward. We have emojis that we can use. And if you're interested in Noteshelf and you're an Inner Circle member, just go over there. There's a full online course how to use Noteshelf like a pro. I will go into much more detail when it comes to Noteshelf in order to write on the sticky note. So you see on the bottom left that this is a sticky note. We can change the type of the sticky note. We can select the sticky note as well. And you see the text stays there where it is. We can write and we tap, and this is really the issue. Okay, I write onto the sticky note and it actually goes there. And if you remember, in Notability, this was no issue. It stays on the sticky and can drag it around. If you're one of my Digital Journal Designer members, you also have free access to my stickers, so you can use these and drag them in, and then you have a sticker like this. So they might be more fancy for you. Then you can simply write on this and select and drag it around as well. We can also do the resize thing, so it stays actually on the sticker. So I can select this and then it stays behind, but this doesn't matter. As long as you select everything, you can just drag it around. Of course, we can do the same in Notability. So here again, if you want to compare it, this is one of my sticker packs, and on top right, we have the normal sticker. So I think you see the difference. This is how you can pimp up your notes by using tools like this. Make sure that you download this new sticker pack. We also have another version of the sticker packs, and there's much more to come, all included in the membership, and you see how great they work on that Notability. So this is also an important thing, that we can actually import images like this. And this is why people love these handwriting note-taking apps, because it feels so much more like paper, and it's much more for personalization and really building up your paper notebooks and diaries. And I really like this as well. So in GoodNotes, we also can use, as mentioned in the beginning, use digital planners. The issue is, I showed you this in another video already, that you always have to tap here on the top right to this icon in order to navigate through your digital journal. And when you want to write, you tap again, and then you can start to write on this. Not very convenient, but it is still working and supports digital journals. I know that GoodNotes is actually one of the most used tools for digital planners. It gives you also the advantage of filled shapes, and I can take this around. I can change the color. See, and we have transparent background. So this is something that we don't have in the other apps yet. And it also feels complete. I mean, when I started this channel in 2017 talking about handwriting note-taking apps, they all three, Notability, GoodNotes, Noteshelf, they really made so big steps forward when it comes to this. They all added OCR, so all of them do have handwriting to text conversion. We all have this shape feature. Notability, GoodNotes and Noteshelf can now switch between vertical and horizontal scrolling. So here I can go horizontal or I switch to vertical. So now I can go this way. All of them have a presentation mode. And what actually makes GoodNotes special, we have these study flashcards. So in order to use a flashcard on your notebook, we can go here and then more from templates. And the issue really is that you need to ensure that you selected A7 iPhone and portrait, and then you scroll over here and you find flashcards. So that's a very hidden feature there. But once you find this and you apply this, you have a flashcard. You can write your question and your answer here. And once you have this, you can actually go here, study flashcards, and it shows you the flashcard. So it gives you the question and you get the answer. So this is how you can create these flashcards. So obviously you can create only a notebook full with flashcards, and then you can go through all your flashcards this way. So this is a feature that is only available in GoodNotes. When you're into using flashcards, this is certainly something to go for. Now, we always mentioned handwriting to text conversion, and yes, this is possible. So when I write test and I select this, I tap on this convert, then I have it here, test, and you can choose the language down there. The issue still we have in GoodNotes, we have to tap on top right, copy it, go back, paste it, and there we have test now, and then I have to delete the old one. That's not very convenient. I mean, the other thing you could do is just that you start writing text directly. So this is a test, and you see it converts it directly into test. That's with the new scribble feature, and it might be more convenient for you if you want to do something like this. So in Noteshelf, we can also just select the text, we convert to text here, and then we can see copy to clipboard or convert to text, and it replaces the handwriting with the new text and makes a sticky note out of it. Okay, might be also not convenient, but you can make this transparent. And in Notability, we also select the text, tap on this, convert to text, and here we can say convert selection or copy to clipboard. And what you see here, it also makes a sticky note of this. So when you go to paper, you see now this is also a sticky note. The advantage we have in GoodNotes, however, when we have written something like this, like a task, okay, that we want to do, all we need to do is bring in our task manager. We can select the text here, press and hold, and then drag it over here. And see, it converted it on the fly, task to task here, and that's done. And that's really awesome, and this is not possible in the other note-taking apps. So when I select start, for example, I press and hold. See, it's not working, so I cannot do this on the fly. And this was a big advantage GoodNotes offered for a long time already. So we talked a lot about Notability, GoodNotes, Noteshelf, and you see already that it really comes down to personal preferences. It is also the organization. When maybe you don't like the way it organizes here. Here we have some subcategories, and we can have some different sections here. I personally really like this. So it's really, but maybe you really want to have proper notebooks, and this is what you have in Noteshelf, for example. You see it here. Things that we can do, we can have groups. As I said, there's the online course for the Inner Circle members. Go and check this out if you want to learn more how to organize this. And in GoodNotes, we actually also have these notebooks, and we can have folders. So if you're really into folder structure, this might be more convenient for you. So why did I talk so much about GoodNotes, Notability, and Noteshelf, and not including Nebo or OneNote? The reason is Nebo and OneNote are still special when it comes to comparison between the different apps. Notability, GoodNotes, Noteshelf, they are really now best to compare. So it's really coming down to personal preferences. And I recommend, if it is possible for you, download these 3 apps and check them out and compare them with each other. It's also about the feeling of the handwriting. Many like Noteshelf more for handwriting, others like really Notability more. It's really a personal thing here. But now let's dive into Nebo, and they also made really big steps. So let's open in Nebo just a new page so you see what I mean by that. So in Nebo, I cannot freeform draw, for example, but I can start writing as you would do. And here you see already the big difference. I start writing and on top I already see the conversion. Okay, so I can underline this. I make it a heading 2. I underline this twice. I make it a H1 heading. I can now select a different color and do this, and it will make a paragraph. When I double tap, it will convert it into text, and you see it highlighted this text as well. So when I tap on this again, I can now change this and drag it around wherever I want. When I double tap again, I can now edit this. Okay, so now we see it takes this, tests this application, and you can tap onto the suggestions coming up there and then choose if this was the correct one. We can choose a different color, underline this, for example, it makes it blue, double tap, and that's it. And I can drag it around again, and we can tap on top left. We can make it a bullet list, we can make it a numbered list, can make it a title. And it's really important, because the advantage is having it this way and creating notes this way is that Nebo is really powerful when it comes to exporting your notes to Word, for example. So all I need to go is top right and then go to export, and here we have PDF and Word. So let's export this to Word. It will open up then Word, and you see it took over the formatting from Nebo. And just remember, this was handwritten. So when it comes really to handwriting, long form content, you're really into, writing books or articles and so on, and you like to use your Apple Pencil, I think there's nothing better to use than Nebo, especially when it comes to the handwriting to text conversion. You saw that we already see on the fly if the note-taking app actually recognized the right words for you. MyScript, Nebo, they developed the handwriting to text conversion engine. Notability, GoodNotes, Noteshelf, they use this engine in order to convert their text. So if somebody gets it right when it comes to the conversion, then it's MyScript, Nebo. And then you have other options now. What they added later on was like this freeform section where you can just draw and write something, or you can make diagrams. Then we select this and we can copy as and then diagram. And when we go, for example, then to PowerPoint and we open a blank presentation, I can just tap here and paste, and there we go. We have the diagram that we just created. So it obviously would work much better when I have put a bit more effort into this. Given what we have here, it did a really great job. Let's say diagram. So you also can say, I want to make a diagram. Okay, something like that. And you see on the fly, it works. Then I can connect these with each other. I can make arrows out of this. And this is the diagram, and all I need to do now is just to double tap and it converts it to your diagram. It even recognizes the arrows, and you can now optimize it in Nebo already. And then you select this, go here and copy, and go back to PowerPoint, paste, and you see it pastes exactly the diagram you had there. So I think that's a big advantage. And another thing we can do is math. So we can say, and just double tap, and there you have the calculation, even the result we have there. So you can imagine when you're writing articles, you can now just click here, make it smaller, and this as well, and then just place it where you think it should belong to. And I think this is really a big advantage. And another advantage we have with Nebo, it is available on Android and Windows. So you have really access to your notes on all the different devices. So when you're a multi-device user, I highly recommend using Nebo in order to access your notes. You might don't want to use OneNote anymore. However, I want to mention it because we have different advantages here. First of all, it integrates into Microsoft Teams and so on very well. You can properly access this from any device you like. It is more like the Evernote with a proper handwriting support. You see this. So the only thing that I saw now is that when I add text like this, yeah, Scribble is not working yet. I can't, and that's an issue with the Microsoft tools on iPad anyway. I cannot use the Scribble feature, so you see it is on. Here's the Scribble icon, and I can't write. If you are a OneNote new user, then you know that you have these fancy stylings and so on. You have loads of different shapes you can use. We even have coordinate systems and so on. So there's a lot you can do, and then you have the convenient structure of the different pages here on the side. Convenient. Maybe some of you actually just don't like this, the way how things are organized. I know that many of you are using OneNote for their go-to note-taking app. You have this nearly infinite canvas that you can fill up. So there is not really a scrolling feature in there. It works different than the note-taking apps I showed you before. Notability, GoodNotes and Noteshelf, they really work more like notebooks. So it is much more relatable when you come from a paper notebook to use these tools. Here you have much more space to play around with, and you have the option to actually properly collaborate on notebooks. That's really something we don't have in the other tools. Yes, we have collaboration feature now in GoodNotes, but this is not real time. This is with a, 5 to 10 seconds delay, but this is not the same thing as real-time collaboration, and this is possible inside OneNote. So if you really want to collaborate on notes, I suggest using this. The disadvantage is it is for free, yes, but we have to use OneDrive in order to stay synchronized and everything. So you can't use any third-party clouds like cloud services like Google or iCloud in order to stay synchronized. But if you are living in the Microsoft universe, I think OneNote just makes sense to use to include it with all your other workflows. Then we have other tools such as MarginNote, for example, and I will do an extra video about this because that's much more complex when it comes to note taking. You see it already there. And if you don't want to miss out the review of MarginNote and Liquid Text, it's a similar tool, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Because with those tools, we can really do proper document research and build up mind maps and so on. And I don't think that really fits into the handwriting note-taking apps I covered today. And this is why we will have a different video about this. And let me know in the comments below if there are any other note-taking apps that you think there should be on my list and that I should check out. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I'll catch you up next time.